Sure. Give credit to Washington, Coach Fish, his staff. Great ball game. What we learned today as a team is, you got to learn how to put people away, especially good teams like Washington, and when we have them here at home. Speaking of home, I got to give our fans a tremendous amount of credit for creating one hell of an environment for our players and making it a great environment for us. We're a young, talented, inexperienced team, but there's zero doubt in my mind that we're talented. And much like I said before, everything that we've made corrections with, we've seen them go execute. Today was the first day we didn't do it. We knew that it would come down to our skill today, running, blocking, tackling, catching, and throwing. And Washington did it a little bit better than us, and especially in critical situations where they needed to make plays, they did. These are great lessons for us. I'm looking forward to getting this stuff fixed with our team. We'll learn from this, and I expect this team to respond the right way. I told them in the locker room, we're going to learn a couple things about ourselves. One, how to manage success, which I didn't think we did a great job of it, in the bye week of managing the success without the distractions and the things that pop up. And now we're going to have to see how we manage adversity, because this is the first bit of adversity we'll face together as a team with dealing with a loss. And I'm looking forward to seeing just how these guys respond. We got another great opportunity next Saturday here at the Shell against Nebraska, and I promise you our guys will show up, we'll be prepared, and we'll be working to get us back on the right track. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Hey, Mike. In the second half, and specifically late in the third and in the fourth quarter, you guys seemed to abandon the run and tried to kind of generate or mimic that with passes and short passes. What was the decision-making process behind that to not try to do anything on the ground?
Yeah, I think for us it goes back to we're an RPO system. We still have run-pass options where today what Malik faced was at the end they mixed between cover two and man. And so we got into if they're getting cover two, we need to run it. If they're playing a little more man, then we've got to create and win one-on-one man battles, which today we didn't win enough of them and we didn't make enough good throws.
And you mentioned, of course, it's a young team and they're still learning a lot of things, but a lot of people will, and the folks that were here today will perhaps think this is similar to things that have happened in years past based on the track record. What would you say to them?
I would say that we're defined in the present. I mean, I won't get into, this year's team can't be like any other team to be compared to because it's this year's team. And so, do I expect it? Of course. I mean, it should be expected for me. But for us, I mean, we're going to be defined by what we do this year, what we're doing with this team. And so if you look at comparisons and you look at history, then you would say that. But I can tell you based on the way that what I've seen from this team and how I saw they responded in the locker room just now, we'll be defined by what we do and how we move forward.
And Mike, in the fourth quarter, as Washington's going down and continuing to score, your offense is kind of starting to struggle. Was there a sense of inevitability you guys felt on the sideline in the fourth quarter as that score is getting closer and closer?
If it's a sense of what?
Inevitability.
No, because we don't really watch the scoreboard. To be honest, we play to the next play. We worry about trying to execute, and it comes down to executing, which, again, as I said before, in the third quarter, on offense and on defense, I didn't feel we executed great in the late third quarter. We got a touchdown drive, I think the second drive of the second half, and then on offense, we couldn't generate enough explosives.
And then you talked about kind of the stakes of this game, coming in at 4-0, sellout crowd. Is there some sort of mental hurdle that, you said this is a young team, but you're an experienced coach. Is there some sort of mental hurdle that you have to get over in spots like this?
No, I think I'm good on the mental piece. I usually take care of my mentals. I think what I have to do is focus on evaluating kind of what happened, why it happened, and how I can get it fixed. And, I mean, to me, that's what good coaches do. I'd like to say I'm going to be defined by how we move forward, not by the history of what we've done here.
Mike, did you see Jaleel break free on that third down play and from your vantage point, what happened?
Yeah, we expected man coverage. We had we call it a slot fade. Before the ball even snapped, we say, hey, Jalil's going to have an opportunity to win here. And you know what? 9, 10 times out of 10, Jalil typically is going to make that play. I'm going to bet on Jalil Farouk to make the play. It doesn't come down to that. I mean, we kicked way too many field goals in the first half where we had opportunities, and those type of things are the things that get you when they get you. Kicking field goals when we have advantageous field position, and those are the things that come back to bite us, and it did today, which to me we got to learn from.
And what did you think of Malik overall?
I would say this because he didn't play his best game today, obviously, because quarterbacks, like head coaches, are judged on winning, and we didn't win. I would say that today may have been the first day I saw him look like a guy that kind of was being, because Ryan Walters did a really good job of mixing man, zone, cover 2, cover 1, and this was the first time he faced it. But as I told him, even before the half, with that interception before the half, these are the things that I know Malik Washington will put in his toolbox. We'll be able to show him on tape. We've already started the correction piece of, when you into half drives like that, the one thing and only thing you can't do is turn it over. And that's the learning part of me and us having to coach him through it, just like we'll coach Jalil through finishing the ball. Looking at it on tape, I'd say he's got to get his hands above his eyes to look it in.
Hey, Coach, it was mostly clean first half penalties-wise, and then you get the targeting call at the end of the half, and then also the unsportsmanlike conduct in the end zone there. Did you agree with those calls?
You know what? I'm not going to get into judging referees. I'll let y'all do that. I know this. Everybody in the country does the seatbelt stuff, but we must have a reputation, and because of I thought he did the seatbelt, which everybody does. They felt he brandished a weapon, I guess, is what I was told on the field. But those calls aren't the reason we won or lost this thing. We got to take care of business on the field. Our players know we ain't going to be given anything, so we're going to have to take it or earn it, and we didn't do that today.
And then you mentioned the sellout crowd and the environment, but was it a little bit frustrating there to see in the third quarter the crowd kind of dissipating a bit while Washington was gaining momentum?
We don't pay attention. I mean, I know it was too good of a ball game for me to lose my focus on those types of things. We try to concern ourselves with what's happening on the field once the game starts. But it was great, unbelievable environment that our fans created. So I'm not going to beat our fans up. It's our job to keep them in the stands by executing, playing the right way. And you know what? I'm looking forward to watching this, to get the tape fixed and see how this team handles adversity. This is the first piece of adversity we'll have. We'll find out next Saturday.
Hey, Lex, missing Sidney Stewart in the second half, what impact specifically did that have on the defense, and maybe what does it show about how important he is to this team?
I mean, I've talked all year long about not having great depth, and when you lose 3 people at the outside linebacker position against a dynamic quarterback like the quarterback we had, and some of those misses were self-inflicted by us. And so when I talk about managing success as well as managing some adversity, we put ourselves in a position where when you lose Nasir, you lose Sid, and you lose Dede, and we run out of bodies. But we had chances to take care of it on the field, and so we got to get that done. And to me, that's where my energy and focus will be, is how do I get us to score touchdowns in the red area, tackle better in the second half. When we started missing tackles in the second half is where things change, and that's where I saw us kind of play too many plays on defense because of us not getting off the field and then us also not sustaining drives on offense.
Mike, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe it wasn't roughing the kicker on Bryce. It was running into the kicker, which is only 5 yards. Was there any consideration to accepting the penalty and trying to go for it on 4th and 3 rather than punting?
No, we've looked at that. I think we had all of our timeouts still at that time. So to me, it was a matter of our defense had played pretty well most of the game. We had them back at, I think, the 20-yard line is where that drive started from. I felt pretty good about our defense. This is the first game that, as I said, I thought they got wore down more than we didn't execute. And, again, we knew we had to tackle really well. And in the second half on defense, we missed some critical tackles there in finishing on the quarterback a couple times where he made hell of a plays and broke contain a couple times. And, we've got to get him on the ground when we have opportunities to.
Coach, you've mentioned adversity and overcoming adversity quite a bit, especially for a young squad. These are some defining moments, perhaps, for the season. What was your message to them afterwards, and what do you hope that they took away from it?
Well, I think that the big thing for me was talking about how disappointed I was for them because they created this environment with how they played the first 4 games. And, it's kind of like as a parent, you're disappointed when your kids don't get to feel and live through the success that they created. And so there's a lot of guys that for the first time, they've now got to look at themselves like I have to as the head coach and the leader of this thing to see what can I do better. How can I help us? How can I help us elevate this week? We knew this game would come down to the skill of executing fundamentals, and I mentioned that to those guys that we didn't catch well, we didn't run well, we didn't block well, we didn't tackle well, and these are all things that we can get corrected because they are fundamental things. I saw us make some improvements, but what we didn't do was finish, and we didn't. And to me, that's the part now that the lesson I've got to get taught of finishing and the importance of how you finish. And you know what? I'll get that done. Thanks, guys.